the several heirs who were confused by the order from the patriarch. One of the heirs, named Diffus, said that the patriarch would meet the youngest brother. And if that's the case, they think their youngest brother is a great person. Meanwhile, Jin's side is getting ready because soon the patriarch will come after a long wait. The patriarch finally came. Then the patriarch asked Tona brother to come to see him. Then the patriarch asked them both if he heard the fight with Jin. Then what is your mistake in the fight? Hayatona replied that we didn't do anything wrong. Instead, he said that Jin, who attacked us first, had a strange ability like magic. Next, the patriarch asked Jin to come here. Jin explained that his father was the strongest being in this era, who had reached the demigod level, and was nicknamed Genesis Knight. He said his father was an ordinary man, but after reaching the demigod level, he lost all his human feelings and became someone who craves ambition and power to make his clan the strongest. And in the past, people like him who didn't have swordsmanship talent weren't considered. But now it's different in this life. Jin is sure that no one can underestimate him. Then, before long, Jin opened the entrance to the room to meet his father. After entering, immediately bowed his body as a tribute to his father. The patriarch then asked, "What did you do wrong in that brotherhood fight?" Jin said it was because of revenge. Because if someone Run Candle does something, they must accept the consequences of that action, whether it's good or evil. Hearing that answer, the patriarch ordered that all leave the room except him. The heirs felt surprised, because if their father wanted to talk privately, so that means Jin has been recognized as a great person and will be useful for the clan. Then, after leaving, the patriarch immediately asked Jen that the Tony brothers said that he used an aura similar to mana, and for that patriarch wanted to confirm what power was. And if it is magic, then the patriarch won't let Jin get away with it. And now that his father knows about this, Jin will show his strength, but here he tries not to know his strength, as if that power suddenly came to him. Then he showed his strength, where a black aura gathered in his hand, and here Jin asked his father to name this power. Seeing this, the patriarch immediately remembered one thing, that this power belonged to the first patriarch. The story continues with Jin showing his power to his father when releasing black energy in his hand just as usual. His father didn't have any expression, his face was straight, but he saw a legendary figure in Jin's body. His father thought that this child was fated to become a patriarch. Then he explained that this power belonged to Soldret, the god of shadow. It is known that Solder it contracted with the first patriarch of Run Candle Satema, and is a god who has been with us since the first founding of this family. However, after the death of Tema Solder, it never appeared again in the Run Kendall's family. The strongest man also doesn't know the reason, but it seems he has returned to the figure of Jin Run Candles. Of course, Jin asked, "Then is Solder stronger than you, father?" Hearing this suddenly, his father thought, could he fight against the gods? Yeah, that's a good question, but I've never fought a god, so I don't know the outcome yet. Jin smiled at the answer, because according to him, the answer was very suitable for someone who was nicknamed the strongest man. Then his father held his head and said that he was quite happy to visit him this time. But his father wanted to know how he used the spirit of Barasata firmly, and raising his hand to his chest. Jin replied that he would use it for the clan, when hearing that made his father laugh out loud because it was a great lie. He again reminded to beat your brother and left them under the rain and thunder. And after that incident, do you want to say that using that power is for the clan? His father asked Jin to tell the truth because his father is very difficult to deceive, like it or not. Jin has to say his purpose, that he will use this power for himself. The cynical gaze made Jin even more emphatic in his words. His father was satisfied with his answer and said, "From now on I will be watching over you." He left Jin quite calmly. Meanwhile, Jin felt trembling to talk to his father after his father left. He was relieved and very satisfied to hear the answer. He smiled broadly, indicating that this was good news for him. He was very happy to be allowed to use spirits freely, but he didn't expect that his father would be watching over him. He brought out the dark energy again and said that he didn't expect that things would go that smoothly, whereas in his previous life he couldn't even get close to his father, let alone be watched like this. Jin felt that life now was very different. From life before, Jen is getting excited and will make good use of this coming out of the room. His older sister Mary gave a parcel. Jin asked what's in the box. Mary said this is a special gift given by your sister. The before leaving smiling broadly. Mary said, boy, first eat right and get stronger quickly. Jin felt strange about why she gave him the things he should have brought. Jin was even more curious and immediately looked at the contents of the box. Jin and Nanny were very surprised by what they saw. It turns out that there is a heart with enormous energy. It turned out to be Phoenix heart. Jin was confused and asked why she gave this item to a 7-year-old child. Then explained the figure of Mary Run Kendalls. She is the 7th heir of Run Candles and a 6-star knight. Her nickname is Stormwind. Mary, moreover, she has a secret name. The southern region's mad woman Jin thought that the battle-crazed Mary had given away a precious item like this. Then she definitely wanted him to grow up quickly in order to fight against him. Jin went to the dining table and waited for the food to be ready while waiting for the dish. He thought that by consuming the heart of the phoenix at such a young age, I will definitely gain fire resistance and also will speed up my development if I'm not mistaken. Phoenix heart is required for 6-star mages to summon Phoenix safely, and if deducing from here, then in the age of maturity, and in this lifetime Jin can summon a real Phoenix with his own hands. His imagination stopped from Nanny, who had served the food very deliciously, but before taking the fork Jin was disturbed by his 2 older brothers. His 2 older brothers said it looks like Jilly must be preparing the food, not just for one person. The point is they both want to eat delicious food. Before giving it, Jin asked the 2 of them for one order, namely to dig a place in the hair area. Without thinking, they went straight to the place and dug it. After digging the place deep enough, they began to notice something strange. Why did Jin ask him to dig this place actually? They don't know whether this place can be excavated or not, but what is certain is if anyone found out, all the blame is on Jin. So they kept digging into this place until it was complete. After that, we see the strange place of the excavation, where down there turns out to be a secret room inside that places a large bottle with a person inside. We don't know who is this man. It looks like he has the same energy as Jin. Back to the dining room. Jin's 2 older brothers have finished the excavation. Their clothes are dirty and full of soil. Jin was impressed by their being very fast, so he gave them food to them. Jin turned out to be very stingy. He only left 2 spoons. This made his 2 older brothers annoyed and angry, but they couldn't scold him. Next, Jin headed to the excavation site when entering the place. Jin was quite surprised because the 2 of them seriously dug this place deep enough. He tapped on one of the earthen walls. He felt that the thickness of the wall is enough to use 1-star magic coincidentally. Jin is very stressed to hold mana in his body. But this moment is the past he used this magic. He focused his energy on both of his hands. The green energy was getting bigger. Jin then stretched his hands and cast a spell on the wall. In an instant, the wall was destroyed. He was very happy to see this, and finally, I can be here. In front of him is Run Kendall's secret library room. It was known that Jin had never even visited this place in his previous life. It feels a little strange to be in this place. Jin still remembers the incantation to open the library. He directly chanted the spell. Run Candle's child had arrived to console Murakhan. Finally, the big door opened immediately. The Run Candle Secret Library is the repository of the many secret collection books of the Run Candle clan, which have been suppressed for over 1,000 years. And this place only allows Run Candle flag bearers. In his previous life, his older brother had said that Jin didn't need to know because he wasn't a flag bearer, because he didn't have the right to be one. But that information was only useful now. I'll put it to good use while exploring the library deeper. Jin found something strange in front of him, which is the man in a pretty weird tube when looking at it in more detail. It turns out that humans have scales. Then Jin was even more curious and touched the tube at that time. He just remembered something that was a big legend thousands of years ago. The none other human before him was Black Dragon Murakan. According to information known to Jin, Black Dragon Murakan was defeated by the first patriarch and rested for quite a long time here. Jin did not expect it because that legend is really real. He looked at the tube while opening his eyes wide. Even he was curious. But that's not what he was looking for. He wanted all the secret tomes.